Hey drivers, welcome back to another one. Today I want to talk about a game series that has been a foundational element for my passion to race. That series is Forza Motorsport. Many of you may not know this, but I've been playing this series since the very first game that released on the original Xbox. Being that I never really owned a PlayStation while growing up, I was able to only get a taste of what racing games could actually be like when playing Gran Turismo at my cousin's house. I had many games that I felt came close to this game, but they always missed the target. Games such as World Driver Championship 64 and Sega GT. So you can only imagine how I felt when Microsoft released their very own competitor, Forza Motorsport. Finally, I had a racing game series that could rival the physics, graphics, and overall realism of Gran Turismo. When I first inserted the disc, I held my breath as I took my first lap around Maple Valley. Once the light flashed green, and I began flying around the first turn, I then realized, yes, this is it. This is what I was looking for. The car's handling felt butter smooth and in complete control. The visuals were stunning as the passing environment reflected off the painted metal body's surface of the cars. And the icing on the cake, the customization. It even rivaled the customization found in games like Need for Speed Underground, with full body kits, wheel options, and a decal system like no other. Another added bonus is that I could enjoy the experience with a bunch of my friends all at once, with the ability to connect multiple Xboxes and play over LAN connection. Yes, this game was mind-blowing back in the day. So what happened? A series that I spent countless hours on, a series that I looked forward to every release, eventually faded away into obscurity. Well, I thought about this for some time. I believe there are a couple things that contribute to this. Let's roll through them one by one. First up, I discovered sim racing. Yes, I discovered true sim racing titles, the ones found in my video 4 levels of sim racing game fever. Check that out after this one. When I discovered AC, or Assetto Corsa, I realized very quickly that the games that I had been playing were not as real as I thought they were. As I dove deeper into sim racing titles like AC, Assetto Corsa Competizione, Project Cars, iRacing, AMS2, and more, I realized that my favorite titles that I invested countless hours into were not the pinnacle of realism that they claimed to be. Yes, these games made me realize the depth that was missing all along in the Forza and Gran Turismo series. Yes, these games helped me realize how shallow Forza and Gran Turismo really were. Once you become accustomed to true sim racing games, it's hard to go back to Forza and Gran Turismo without picking it apart. When playing sim racing titles, you experience the high fidelity of true tire wear over the course of a race. You can feel the effects of the G-forces on the car's chassis, which bends and flexes under load. Car damage actually affects the handling characteristics in a way that you would expect in real life. Another point is that the force feedback information sent to the steering wheel is so detailed, far more than the Forza and Gran Turismo series. You can feel everything that is going right and everything that is going wrong throughout the entirety of the turn. It's hard to explain, but you just have to try it. This experience is further improved when you have a direct drive wheel. Yes, these games elevate the driving experience to a standard that I had never experienced in the Forza or Gran Turismo series. After getting used to this type of driving experience and then returning to Forza, I'm often left a bit disappointed. Each time I play, the physics feel off. The mushy, numb feel of the steering wheel makes me long for more detail. On top of this, there is the decline of great races, with more races ending up turning into a crash derby and a competition of who can dodge the most rammers. But are the Forza and Gran Turismo series all that bad? Is there nothing to be enjoyed about these titles because they are less than realistic? Well, here I would like to mention one Forza title that still gets me a bit excited every time I revisit it. That title is Forza Motorsport 4. Yes, FM4, a game that came out in 2011, still has that yes factor even after all these years. If you were around to play the game when the servers were live and all the features were active, you will know what I'm talking about. Forza 4 had a lot to offer. Yes, Forza 4, aside from the amazing inclusion of the Top Gear host Jeremy Clarkson monologuing to cars in Forza Vista, this game had features that provided a community like no other game before it. This included storefronts, far more complex than what any Forza game had after the fact. Car clubs that allowed you to share cars with your friends. And the rise of amazing videos shared across the budding YouTube of these crews doing what they do best. Let me dive deeper. With regard to storefronts, just to tell you their impact, my cousin would spend most of his time just managing his store. To him, that was the game, selling setups, cars, configs, decals, and more. He had a blast helping his store gain popularity through trading and selling these things. In fact, this was such a deep feature, I've even heard of people that made actual cash by having their designs commissioned and then later sold in the storefront. Then there was car clubs. I can make a whole video just about this, but I'll keep it brief. In these clubs, you can invite your friends and compete against one another in a club challenges such as club leaderboards. You could also set up a leader and co-leader for the group. Share your entire garage with all members of the crew, and even assign roles such as tuner, painter, and drivers. Yes, these are features you had to be present for in that time to truly appreciate how wonderful this game was. Sadly though, in the following Forza titles, Turn 10 failed to include these features. And the icing on the cake, my favorite drift and driving role Fujimi title was removed, never to be seen again. Yes, this title proved that realism isn't the only thing that can bring joy in a racing title. This is why my hopes were so high for the latest reboot of the series, Forza Motorsport. This game promised a return to roots and things we loved about Forza. Will it deliver? Well, so far it seems Forza is trying to tread a new path rather than recreating Forza Motorsport 4. In the end, I realized that Turn 10 can revive that flame, that spark, without making the most realistic sim. At the end of the day, it just needs to be fun. Even so, I do hope the fidelity is improved alongside the addition of features that will make the experience enjoyable again. I'm excited to experience this title with you all and run this game through its paces on this channel. Also, I hope you enjoyed the nostalgic overload. Go ahead and check out my video, 4 Levels of Racing Game Fever. Thanks for watching, and as always, drive safe.